criminals.
We often come to these and say these unspeakable tragedies, or there's no words for this. There shouldn't be words for these types of incidents because they should not happen.
Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the 23-year-old suspect, who is believed to have acted alone, left behind a manifesto timed to be released on YouTube.
This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators.
O'Hara said the suspect used 3 guns, but others have been found. There were writings on some of the weapons. CBS's Anna Schechter.
This is someone who had grievances against a number of different groups, and that's why it's challenging to sort out a motive. In fact, there are other social media videos online, other social media posts by this individual.
The suspect killed himself after the shootings. The Transportation Department today took over Union Station in Washington, D.C. Some National Guard troops have been patrolling there as part of the president's anti-crime efforts. Allison Keyes reports the mayor is admitting those efforts are working.
Mayor Muriel Bowser says the federal surge has been important to the district, and compared to the last 20 days in the same time period last year, there's been
a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C.
But she also spoke strongly about the anxiety many district residents feel amid the surge and the sorrow she feels that many migrants are living in terror. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The FDA has approved updated COVID vaccines, but they won't be as broadly available, as Linda Kenyon reports.
The vaccines have been approved for all seniors. Younger adults and children with at least one underlying health problem will have to get approval from their doctors if they want the vaccine. On social media, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said emergency use authorizations for COVID vaccines were used during the Biden administration to, quote, justify broad mandates on the general public. And he added, they are now rescinded.
Mexico says its postal service is suspending package shipments to the U.S. ahead of the Trump administration's end to an exemption to tariffs on low-value packages this week. The exemption had allowed packages worth less than $800 to enter this country duty-free. Postal services in other countries have also paused shipping. On Wall Street, stocks finished higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a call for action at a Catholic church in Seattle. That's after we go to Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Everett to Marysville, 15 minutes. You've got scattered backups on the Boeing Freeway up to 529. Getting to Everett from Seattle and Bellevue, both about 40 to 45 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. You're looking at pretty good until you hit the U District, where it jams up near Ravenna down to the Convention Center. North 5, you're doing okay. Just a little crowded at the West Seattle Bridge. Southbound 405, you're slow from 520 all the way down to that VMAC near Northeast 44th, and it's really thick from Northeast 8th down to Cold Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton's going to take you a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes. Your backup starts at the Duwamish Curve. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, already pushing 50 minutes, and it is really packed south of Highway 18. North of Poulsbo, northbound 3 at Pioneer Way, we've got a crash blocking your northbound lane. Drivers are sitting in 1 mile backups in both directions. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. In the wake of another deadly mass shooting, this time at a school church, a Catholic father in Seattle says enough is enough. KIRO News Radio's Gwen Baumgardner has more.
Only hours after a gunman opened fire outside a Minneapolis mass, parishioners gathered at St. James Cathedral in Seattle.
We're not going to stop praying. We're not going to stop gathering in churches like this.
That's Father Michael, who led the midday mass, calling for not just prayers, but greater gun control.
See our country and see how unwilling we have been to pass legislation, sensible legislation, to control the use of these firearms.
His calls echoed by Washington Senator Maria Cantwell, who writes, no child should face danger at school or in church. This is a reminder that Congress must act on common sense. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
Our state is seeing a surge in concealed carry permits. More than 713,000 residents now have one. This is an increase of 14,000 since January. The News Tribune says that's the biggest yearly increase since 2022. Gun rights advocates point to rising crime and new gun laws as key drivers. King County agrees to pay $21.5 million to a woman who was mauled by dogs back in 2022. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports the attack happened in unincorporated Auburn.
The 38-year-old mother was jogging on a public street when two dogs attacked her.
Her injuries were absolutely horrific.
Attorney Gemma Zanowski says the woman's undergone more than 20 surgeries to repair bones, lacerations, and other wounds. And she says it could have been prevented. Neighbors told KIRO 7 TV they had repeatedly complained about the vicious dogs being kept by squatters at a nearby home.
What is it going to have to take to wake up and get these people out of this house?
Zanowski says as part of the settlement, the property owner has agreed to sell the home. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
State troopers clocked a driver speeding over 100 miles per hour in East Bremerton today. They say the 37-year-old woman drove down State Route 303 in neighborhood streets before she eventually crashed. Troopers say the woman had outstanding warrants and a stolen license plate and is now facing multiple charges, including DUI. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine as the day goes on. Highs topping out in the upper 70s. Could see some low 80s as well. Right now 73 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Think about what you'd think about at the time. Think about how you'd feel. Okay. It's wrong. It's not who we are, and we're going to fix that too.
Wow. Boy, he was really jacked up on something there, huh? Woo. Wow. All right. Holding back, diving in.
Oh, my.
It's a perfect night last night. You know what naked weather is?
I have a guess.
What is it?
Weather is so comfortable that you
walk outside
yeah.
and you don't feel cold, you don't feel hot, just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So last night I went to bed early and I had my robe on. I got out with Twiggy just to check on the pumpkins. You know, that's what you do at 10:30 at night. She kept grabbing the rope, the tie on the beautiful robe. Screw it. So I took the robe off. I just walked around nude for a while. And then I thought, if I get attacked by a bear, because the bears are starting to look around, is it better to be found, mauled by the bear in clothes or mauled by the bear nude?
There's something more primitive about being nude,
But I'm just later on. I'd be dead. It wouldn't matter. But just like, did you know they found him nude? That would add to it.
Yes. Better story. Always the goal.
Okay. Let's dive in. Didn't cross my mind yesterday while walking around out there on the property. Oh, there we go. This is news. That wasn't. Here it is. Let's see. George Washington used to say all the time he believed in providence, that God had a hand in the creation of this great country. Proof of that coming up. Waiting for more music. And I think the best way for this was he 4 years old?
Yes.
He's going to have she's going to have a great story. Great story with what her dad tried to teach her a little bit of discipline.
Fair.
Everybody's safe in that, right? That story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Plus, one of my favorites, Travis Couture, state representative, comes in. We're going to give him a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. You see the piece in the Seattle Times? It's amazing. They made it through the entire thing without mentioning Trump. Washington suspends the $229 million IT rebuild that has been, I think, going on since 2015. And they said, well, he's wasting so much money. So Couture's talking about that, plus also the Keeping Families Together Act, which I think he refers to as the Dead Babies Act. We'll get him involved in that. We'll talk about that. And there's a couple other topics I want to talk with Travis Couture about. Plus, also, Donald Trump is saying, you know what? We might move some military occupation into some other major cities, like Seattle. That's right. It's going so well in D.C., the president says. We're looking at Chicago. We're looking at Seattle, Portland. Military occupation going in there. Sure to be welcomed by everybody here.
Thank you.
All right. Plus, don't forget, we still have our Christian riot protest coming up on the 30th. Saturday, yeah. I'll have to hit on that thing, too. Plus, there's nothing more fun than going to a city council meeting, especially when a guy tries to make a point about why you need to save the dirt bike trails. And I think did he convince anybody? Did they vote in favor of him?
They voted. I don't want to.
All right, I have to leave it at that. We'll touch on.
That's a tease.
Thank you, gassy old lady. Minneapolis shooting, the 8-year-old and a 10-year-old killed, 17 hurt at this Catholic school. I'd say to Joe, just like before we went on the air, I said, should we even, how do we do that story? We'll hit that thing. I'll explain why. Oh, and then Cracker Barrel dumps the new logo. Trump said to the president of Cracker Barrel and the rest of the Cracker Barrel people, look, you got about $70 million worth of free advertising. Now switch it back to the old logo. And they caved and went back. It's interesting. You look at the woman that runs Cracker Barrel and you think to yourself, does it look like she's ever been to a Cracker Barrel? With her fancy glasses and her beautiful hair and her Chanel suits. Does she look like a Cracker Barrel person?
No.
Wouldn't you want to see somebody with like a weird wart skin tag, like right in the nasal flap? You know what I mean? Some with a little hair coming out of it. That you want that person for the Cracker Barrel CEO. Well, he reversed because people were so upset. It's crazy. Plus, did we get this person didn't come on? They're not returning your calls. You're losing your magic, Joe.
Yeah.
Would you pay $65,000 to have your kid go to a school where there are no teachers? That and a whole lot more. But first, I was thinking, I just finished a book from one of my favorite guys, Thomas Sowell, and I thought I would share some stuff with you. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is going to upset some people, so hang in there. We all long to be communists. After all, we were raised in a communist society. All of our needs were met and life was good. Hug your mommy, you're hugging a commie. I don't think anyone's ever said that before, so that's my patent pending on that one. So here's how it worked. You did your chores at home. The older kids did more than the younger ones, but you all enjoyed mom's meatloaf with the Jell-O pudding for dessert. So if Marx, the father of communism, he'd be proud of this setup. If he were sitting at the dinner table with breadcrumbs in his beard and his dark eyes searching for leftovers that wouldn't be taken, he might say, from each according, I don't know, how does he talk? He's German, he's Russian. So each according to his ability, each according to his needs. Because, think about it. The little ones did chores, not as many chores as the bigger ones, but everybody had something to eat. The home ran well as a communist model. In Thomas Sowell's Conflict of Vision, the brilliant scholar perfectly lays out why your commie-loving mommy and pinko daddy love for you would never work in a world outside the four walls of your home. Now, I'm just assuming everybody had somewhat of a normal childhood. See, Sowell lays out that there are two visions of the world, and they conflict. One vision is the constrained vision of man and human nature, and the other is the unconstrained. First, start with the constrained. Constrained, to paraphrase Adam Smith, that would be human nature is flawed, man is fixed. You can't do anything to fix the fact that man is flawed. We are all selfish and greedy and driven by our own will to satisfy our needs and wants. And society must have institutions and established laws and rules to constrain us. So that's the constrained view. The unconstrained view of human nature is more like Rousseau when he spoke about, his famous quote is that, man is born free, but everywhere he is in chains. French. That translates to, F the man, burn down the system. It constrains us because we're all good. We're great. It's the stuff on the outside that's stopping us from really obtaining our full, beautiful presence into this world. So let children be raised in loving homes, can go out into the world and treat fellow man like his family treated him, minus the occasional atomic wedgie. Now, philosophers like Rousseau and Adam Smith knew nothing of the atomic wedgie, so let me take a brief moment to explain how it works. Your older brother would grab the elastic band of your underwear and would pull the underwear up from behind, and it would ride up between your butt cheeks. And then, here's where the atomic stuff comes in. The additional cloth would then be gathered into the hand, normally your older brother, who would then secure it onto a doorknob. The helpless recipient would then be hanging at least 6 to 10 inches off the ground, suspended only by the underwear. Now, the conflict between those that hold the constrained view of human nature have little or no faith that society, in the form of government, can fix man to be caring and loving, to feel the same way he does for his family as he would for a stranger. There are those, I don't know what percentage of Americans, that believe that man is unconstrained in nature, meaning they have few flaws, but systems put in place would allow them to flourish and care, that the systems put in place need to be light and touch to allow that person to care and treat the common man with the same amount of affection as they would their family member, atomic wedgies aside. All right. So you have to hand it. Now, next time you run into a socialist or a communist, you got to hand it to the people that have this unconstrained view, because they really believe if society were set up of a family and everyone did their part, large and small, we would all have something to eat, a place to live, and there would be no need for police or rules or anything, because let's face it, we're all basically good. It is our nature. Now, when you meet someone that shares Rousseau's philosophy, it is really quite a compliment when you think about it. And a socialist or communist really have a great deal of faith in you. You should be free, and they should be free, and life should be great, and we could all get along because that is our very nature. Now, if you meet a socialist or a communist, don't curse them, but thank them for thinking so highly of you. That's better. Which brings us around to the difference between something like capitalism and socialism. It's going to get around to that. Both of these economic systems can be encapsulated in the constrained and unconstrained view of human nature. Hopefully everybody's with me at this point, because it's all going to be on the test. So the capitalist system rewards individuals who do for themselves. Let's do Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos doesn't care or love you. When he came up with a way to have a new pair of men's underwear and preparation H delivered to your doorstep in 6 hours, he did not do this because you were hoisted onto a doorknob and left to die. He did this because his now wife needs new lips, and he also loves her giant boobies. He did it for himself, and capitalism operates with a constrained view of human nature. The best example, to make my point, is a brief exchange. Let's see if I got it here. A brief exchange between Milton Friedman and Phil Donahue on the Phil Donahue Show. They talk about capitalism and greed.
When you see around the globe the maldistribution of wealth, the desperate plight of millions of people in underdeveloped countries.
So Phil is laying out an unconstrained view, right? This is like, you see all this, doesn't this bother you that everyone is suffering? Wouldn't it be better if we didn't have all that? And isn't it capitalism's fault?
When you see so few haves and so many have-nots, when you see the greed and the concentration of power within, did you ever have a moment of doubt about capitalism and whether greed's a good idea to run on?
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? What is greed? Of course, none of us are greedy. It's only the other fellow who's greedy. The world runs on individuals pursuing their separate interests. The great achievements of civilization have not come from government bureaus. Einstein didn't construct his theory under order from a bureaucrat. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize the automobile industry that way. In the only cases in which the masses have escaped from the kind of grinding poverty you're talking about, the only cases in recorded history are where they have had capitalism and largely free trade. If you want to know where the masses are worst off, it's exactly in the kinds of societies that depart from that. So that the record of history is absolutely crystal clear that there is no alternative way so far discovered of improving the lot of the ordinary people that can hold a candle to the productive activities that are unleashed by a free enterprise system.
But it seems to reward not virtue as much as ability to manipulate the system.
And what does reward virtue? You think the communist commissar rewards virtue?
You see, because Phil believes in the unconstrained view that we're virtuous, that we're all virtue, that virtue is a thing that would be motivating us and driving us. And Milton fires back.
You think a Hitler rewards virtue? You think, excuse me, if you'll pardon me, do you think American presidents reward virtue?
Because Milton Friedman, myself, Thomas Sowell, and others believe that we are constrained. That if you give power to any of these other individuals, there is no real virtue because we are fallen in our very nature.
Do they choose their appointees on the basis of the virtue of the people appointed or on the basis of their political clout? Is it really true that political self-interest is nobler somehow than economic self-interest? You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. And just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that.
See, there are no angels, so there are laws to constrain us, to hold us accountable for our fallen, flawed nature. And the conflict exists, and the conflict exists between those that think that we are naturally good and those that have experienced the excruciating pain of an atomic wedgie. And now you know.
And now you know the rest of the story.
There you go. Anybody ever gotten in one of those wedgies?
No, in fact, I didn't know that the atomic wedgie I didn't know that's when you got hung up. I thought it's when it came over your head.
Ken, there's a man that died. You can look that up. He got an atomic wedgie. I think his son did it to the father. The father did it to the son. It's very biblical. And he died from atomic wedgie.
Oh, wow. Oklahoma man, 30 years in prison for fatal atomic wedgie.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Let that be a warning to you. Was it the father to the son and the son to the father?
It was a 35-year-old man did it to his stepfather.
Wow. Imagine being in prison for that. People are like, man, what are you in for?
Oh.
Atomic wedgie. You wouldn't want to sleep in that guy's cell.
No.
One eye open on him and one
right.
hand on your underwear.
Woo.
That's probably just a good rule of thumb when you're in the prison anyway, right, Joe?
It is, absolutely. I've never been to prison, by the way.
No.
Just
jail.
Yeah.
It's just a distinction.
Yes, there is.
Okay, good. Let me find him over here. Hey, by the way, did you get my new song for Nate?
What?
No. Did you find it, Andrew?
Not yet, sorry.
Whoa!
I'm a busy man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw the on-air line. I thought we were professionals. We're doing a radio show here. I didn't know. Somehow we're not. Hold on, Nate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, screw it. Just
I
do
can't
traffic.
wait.
No, just do it. No, just...
Why, it's good old reliable Nathan.
Nathan with the traffic.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors has our update. Factoria, southbound 405 at Cold Creek Parkway. Got a new collision right there in your center lane. You're backed up bumper to 520. Bellevue to Renton is up to 35 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. It's packed from Lake City Way down to I-90. Our lake bridges are all clear. Seattle to Federal Way is still hanging on at 40 minutes. It's heavy from MLK Junior Way all the way down to State Route 516. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute drive. Tacoma to Olympia is at 40 minutes. On the water, the Mukilteo Ferry Terminal has a 1-hour wait for drivers. Beat inflation at Lake Washington Windows and Doors for a limited time. Save with 20% inflation discounts and 18 months free financing. Learn more at lakewashingtonwindows.com. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Hey, homeowners. John Curley here. Got some urgent news for you. But don't panic. You got some time. Not a whole lot of time, but got some time. So my friends over there at Home Comfort Alliance have been doing some work, and they have found some rebates that they know they're going to expire. And right now, you can snag a $2,000 federal tax credit on new heat pumps. But they've got to be installed by the 31st of December this year. And then Home Comfort Alliance also found out they got 25%, Home Comfort does, 25% off selected high-efficiency heat pumps that are in stock. So that's a savings about $2,000 or more. Okay, now there's even more. There are utility rebates. Yep, up to $2,000 back into your pocket. It all adds up to about 75% off to make your house extra comfortable. It's not a deal. It is a steal. And Home Comfort Alliance is committed to outstanding service and great communication, solid follow-up. They came to the barn. They put in a heat pump there. They put in a mini split. These guys were the best to work with. Now, you don't want to miss this rare combination of tax credits, rebates, and deep discounts. You got to act fast before the supplies run out or the deadline hits you. So visit homecomfortalliance.com for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs. It's Home Comfort Alliance, the comfort people.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
If you've been considering upgrading your siding, now is the perfect time. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. In the Pacific Northwest, moisture is the enemy. Old failing siding leads to hidden water damage, rot, and mold. State Roofing and Exteriors is a James Hardy preferred contractor with over 55 years of siding expertise. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your siding inspection today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the Luxe Staples Insiders Swear By, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Minneapolis is mourning after a deadly shooting at a Catholic school as students attended morning mass.
Coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church.
Police Chief Brian O'Hara says that 23-year-old shooter killed 2 students, ages 8 and 10, and wounded 17 others, most of them children.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says thoughts and prayers just are not enough anymore.
Look, we need to be doing more than talking. It can't just be words. There needs to be action.
Matt DeBoer is principal at Annunciation Catholic School.
I love you. You're so brave. And I'm so sorry this happened to us today.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
Police are still looking for a motive. They say the shooter left behind a manifesto. FBI has finished an intensive search near Leavenworth for Travis Decker, the man wanted in the murders of his 3 daughters nearly 3 months ago. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison earlier this week said they were looking for new clues.
We will not relent. We will not give up until this investigation is concluded and that Travis is accounted for and or taken into custody.
Sheriff's office says the campgrounds and trails that were closed for this search are now back open. The head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has been ousted from her job. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports.
Dr. Susan Maneras became the director of the CDC just weeks ago. She's now out following reports she may have crossed Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Specifically, she reportedly disagreed with Secretary Kennedy, who removed some members of a vaccine advisory committee and replaced them with some vaccine opponents. She also voiced concern about vaccine misinformation. A social media post from the HHS says Dr. Maneras is no longer at the CDC and says Secretary Kennedy has full confidence in his team at the agency. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Governor Bob Ferguson issues an emergency proclamation for the White River Bridge. Semi-truck damaged it last week, cutting off the main routes between Buckley and Enumclaw. The move lets the state seek federal funds for repairs that are already underway. Let's go now to Nate Connors. He's at the traffic desk.
Let's see, Everett to Marysville, you're pushing 20 minutes with scattered backups between the Boeing Freeway and 529. Getting to Everett from Seattle's a 45-minute drive. It's slow from Northgate through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. You're crowded between Kirkland and Bothell, and then, of course, you'll hook into that North 5 backup through Linwood. Factoria, South 405 at Cold Creek Parkway. We just cleared that collision from your center lane over to the right shoulder. So all lanes are back open, but you're packed from 520 to the scene. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. North 405 jams up at the scene. Linwood to Seattle has gone up to 35 minutes. It is heavy from Lake City Way to I-90. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways, 50 minutes. Pretty crowded now between Renton all the way down into Sumner. You'll catch a little break there through Auburn. Tacoma to Olympia's at 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rest of the night, stay partly cloudy with highs topping out in the upper 70s. For tomorrow, we'll see temperatures in the low to mid-80s. Right now, 74 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go with the John Curley Show, and you coming along for more than a ride. You're a big part of the show. Teen's going to get the letter today. That's going to come you on the floor. Teen's on the floor.
Go on.
This is a disaster.
Help her out.
They got to unhook. Hang on. Hang on.
You do not even wear pants.
There she goes.
Set there with
there she goes.
You
got to put her more in the corner.
Right.
No. Corner of the wall. Corner of the wall. Back. Take this sign out of there. We don't need that. Yeah, there you go.
It is no big deal.
There you go.
We are supposed to be a professional organization.
That's right. This is what people mean when they, when they say
Home Comfort Alliance. How do you think they want to sponsor this? It's such a mess right now. 1-888-973-5476. 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. Teeny's going to get the letter of the day now that she's in her rightful spot, and we're all set and ready to go. And you YouTubers out there, I see you. There you are. Are they picking away at each other?
Andrew's asking if you actually said home comfort.
HomeComfortAlliance.com when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Okay, thanks.
Too much teeny drama. I lost track.
I know, but it's time for This Day in History. 1776, British forces defeated the Patriots in the Battle of Brooklyn.
Ooh.
But they said it was an amazing escape as they retreated. Who gets credit for that? 1976, transgender athlete Renee Richards barred from U.S. Open. I remember that. We were kids, and then all the jokes about, why can't Renee Richards play tennis?
Why? Oh, wait, I get it.
1979, thank you. Fill in the blank. 1979, Lord Mountbatten, whatever,
Mountbatten.
Killed at the IRA. In 2007, remember Michael Vick pleads guilty to dogfighting?
Dude.
Yeah, that guy made a real comeback. Okay, I'm going to go with British forces defeating the Patriots in the Battle of Brooklyn. All right. So we signed the Declaration of Independence, 1776. Right. It took 5 years for the colonies to finally achieve victory. So 8 days after they signed, the British Navy comes full force into New York, and they outflank General Washington and his troops, and it's bad. I mean, we lost maybe 1,000 guys, and then I don't know how many were wounded. The British lost only 400, and it was not going well. They were completely surrounded. So General Washington decides, here's what we're going to do. In the middle of the night, we are going to get on these little boats, and we're going to get the hell out of here because we are screwed. And Washington often talked about the providence of God's hand in the forming of this country. And a perfect example of the fact that this fog, so night ends and this fog descends, and it is so thick you couldn't see somebody just 6 feet away or closer to you. It was just like pea soup. So the British were unable to see Washington putting all of his men on these little rickety boats and sailing away from the grasp of the British that would definitely have just annihilated everybody that was still there. They were outnumbered, they were outflanked, but Washington survived, his troops survived because of the fog. And then, right after they all got on their boats and they left, the fog then lifted up, and the British were like, what the hell? What?
The British or the French?
That's British.
Is it?
What the hell?
Oh, okay.
So there's another example of how, maybe God's hand involved, the fog coming in quickly and saving everybody.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, forgive me.
9,000 troops and supplies put on little boats and then rowed away, and then were able to sort of, regroup best they possibly could, and the British took over New York for a while.
Now, was this my Revolutionary War history is not up to snuff, but was this the famous crossing of the...
No.
Okay.
That was the sneak attack on Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah. They knew, George Washington knew that all the British, well, gonna be drunk. Well, drunk, celebrating Christmas. Oh, drunk. You see all drunk over here? So they were all drunk.
Yeah.
And George said, hey, they're going to be drunk. So let's get in the boat. Let's go across the Delaware, and we'll sneak attack them on Christmas. Well, can we come on Christmas?
On Christmas Day.
Not Christmas Day. No, sir. The goose in the window, sir. You mean the one as big as me? That's the one. Go get it, boy. I'm sorry, that's Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow, attack on Christmas.
You didn't expect there to be voices in all this,
no,
did you?
This is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Let me see.
I knew this because I knew a lot of this. I knew just a small section because my Aunt Mary got me a job as a Revolutionary houseboy I don't think it was the official term. And I stood in this room as the tours would go through this one particular room. I was there. It wasn't Betsy Ross's house, but it was a house next to it. And the guy did the same thing. I heard the same stupid speech like 50 times a day in this really hot little outfit. And I was like kind of hitting puberty. So I was like, deodorant, no deodorant, yeah. I stunk that thing up bad. But the guy, every day, like the next group comes through, a lot of people don't know, but the British actually captured Philadelphia for a brief time, and they were able to have many of their troops here. Now, their luxuries did not come with them from Great Britain, and so what they were normally used to eating maybe on silver plates, or pewter. Instead, they had lead plates. Can you imagine? So they dined on lead, and then many of them died years later of lead poisoning. Now, if everyone will just follow me over here, it's just like, oh my gosh. Same thing. There's no joke in the thing, but the guy used to, and they all died of lead poisoning. Now, if everyone will just follow me over here, we can head over this side.
He could have done that a little better. I mean,
it's a good story.
They dined on lead, then they died dining on lead, maybe,
I don't know. I got paid like $4 an hour or something like that.
How about that?
Yeah, during the bicentennial.
So what did the houseboy do?
I don't know. I just stood there. But normally he'd be in charge of like urine pots or, I don't know, stoking the fire or something. I was just decoration.
No, yeah, I meant your job. You were just...
I was just a human decoration.
Okay.
Yeah.
No lines or anything?
I didn't have any lines. Okay. I felt like going, they died of lead poisoning. There you go. That's a little bit of history and then a little bit of my history as well. Going from 1776 to 1976.
Ooh.
And all that?
How about that?
All right. Let's see. Hopefully, State Representative Travis Couture has not heard the beginning of the show, or he won't be coming on. Plus, we got to get Reagan Dunn on tomorrow.
Yes.
Shocking. The amount of money, because Reagan Dunn told me, a Kidd County council member said they were going to start an audit in April to audit all of those diversion programs. Rather than sending the kid to prison or jail like Joe likes to go to, they would send them in a circle and have them talk about their feelings, and then they get up and do a dance or something, whatever. Well, the amount of money that went to these programs now that Reagan Dunn has found the audit, he said, we are, come on, quote him, we are doomed.
Yeah, I think he said we're toast.
Oh my God. Nuts. All right. I thought it's a different song rather than Nathan. So let's try a new one. Here we go.
Virginity is cool. Come on. Virginity is cool. What up? Virginity is cool. He's got it. Virginity is cool. Come on. Virginity is cool. What up?
Virginity is cool.
Come on.
I tell this to myself every day when I drive into work.
Right. Come on.
There he is. There's Nick with traffic. Nathan?
Yes, sir. Seattle Sports has the update. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. It's slow and solid from Northgate through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes with scattered slowing between Kirkland and Bothell, starting near Northeast 85th. And then, of course, at Alderwood, you're going to join the I-5 backup. South 405 is packed from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway, where a collision is on your right shoulder and drivers are slowing down at the scene. From there, it turns into, it thins out, but you're crowded all the way down to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton is a half hour. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. It's packed at Lake City Way down to I-90. North 5 is now thick, approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Tacoma to Olympia is at 45 minutes. Really, your biggest holdup here is this brief 2-mile backup near the JBLM main gate. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I can't wait. See, Nick, my wife, also known as Nicole, has signed up at Longevity Medical Clinic, and she's gotten the first blood test, and now she's going to get the results. I think she gets her doctor probably, I think, Tuesday of next week. And here's why I like it. Because as a couple, we're going to both hold each other accountable for the choices that we make. Because ultimately, we want to live a long, healthy, happy life. So we both are now patients of Longevity Medical Clinic. I've been a patient since 2009, and the way it works for me is a blood draw, just like with all the other patients there that have been going there for 25 years. You just do the blood draw, and then the doctor looks at a very extensive markup here, and they see every single little indicator of how you are aging. And then the doctor is proactive because they see the early indication of maybe something like heart disease or diabetes or cancer. And then they do everything they can to stop it or slow it down or reverse it to give you longer years. So Nick signed up. I'm signed up. We both get doctors and we live a long, healthy, married life. That's the plan. You want to find out more? You too. Well, you and your loved one over there. Sign up for the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hargan.
I'm Amanda Factor, and coming up tomorrow morning...
What were they doing in St. Louis? News Nation's Natasha Zubas has frightening details about the federal government performing secret experiments on people.
And one of the most popular video games ever made in Seattle now has its music on stage at Benaroya Hall. KIRO Newsradio's Paul Holden will tell us more.
And all the day's top local and national stories tomorrow on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, we've got a new administration. What have we seen as a result at the IRS?
Well, the result that I think everyone is seeing is, unfortunately, reduction in staff.
And yet people think that because of those reductions, they're in a better spot.
Well, it's not necessarily the case because the IRS is still going to work with the staff that they have. And in fact, their collection activity is going up.
But now is also the best time to get something done that could be favorable to the taxpayer who owes.
It's very interesting. I've had 2 cases now that I was able to get settled with the IRS fairly quickly and with some excellent results. I think they're just trying to get any case where there's a real live person working on it through the system quicker. They're needing to handle a lot more cases. The caseload isn't going to slow down.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Here's a question. Why are more and more discerning Seattleites choosing Horizon House's new West Tower? They're getting the best views, floor plans, and pre-construction pricing. They're doing it now, and here's why. Because half the residences are already reserved, and they know these advantages won't last. Learn more now at westtowerinfo.org. That's westtowerinfo.org. westtowerinfo.org.
To the John Curley Show you go, everybody. And are they behaving themselves on the YouTube there? Let me try this again. How are they doing?
I haven't checked in yet.
All right, don't forget. You can, that's,
what was that?
I don't know, it's low ceilings. You can watch the show on YouTube. And the other nice thing about it is, I called Rye yesterday because he's going to the Mariners game. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm in the middle of listening to your monologue. I said, but the show's not on the app yet. He goes, no, but you can listen to the show as it's going along. You go back.
Yeah.
I didn't how about that?
It gets posted every day. You can go watch the show tomorrow if you want.
It's all there.
Or over the weekend.
Yeah, or follow us on Instagram. Is it the John Curley Show?
Yes, please. Thank you. I was going to ask that you give that a mention or two.
Yeah, because you get a little bonus. Your beak gets wet when people click on that. You little something on that one?
Yeah.
Keep you in...
Not from our follower count, I'll tell you that much.
More to talk to your psychiatrist about. Father abandons child. I guess he's trying to teach his kid a lesson. So the kid is acting up. I guess King Pat's got the story.
34-year-old Morgan Barnes was driving near Pioneer Avenue when court documents say he told troopers his 4-year-old daughter was being disruptive and loud in the back seat. A witness watched as the man's SUV veered across the freeway, stopping abruptly. This is where he left his 4-year-old girl, right beside the line that separates the shoulder from speeding traffic. People aren't meant to be here, let alone children.
Wow. Maybe the child would have got hit by a car or abducted.
Multiple drivers stopped.
There's so many different variables that could happen to a young child on the side of 512.
Preventing the little girl from entering the road. She told troopers her dad had just taken her to the movie theater. Barnes eventually came back to this scene. He was taken to jail and has pleaded not guilty to felony abandonment. Court documents say he admitted it was a poor decision, telling troopers his wife is currently deployed with the Army and he has been under significant stress caring for 5 kids on his own. The one left here is safe, in the custody of another family member, ordered by the court to have no contact with her dad. In Puyallup, Madeline Carter, King 5 News.
Wow. Yeah, a happy ending, but man, that dad. Okay, 5 kids, you're under a great deal of stress, and then just leave the kid? Didn't just drive 5 feet away and then have the kid apologize or something?
My friend has done that. You know, he just... If you don't stop screaming, we're gonna leave you here, and then opens the door and kind of inches forward a second, and then gets
Or the old, if you don't behave yourself, we're gonna turn this car around and we're gonna end this vacation.
Exactly.
My dad had this thing when we were little kids. He had this old Mercedes, and he used to say, "You see this button right here? If I press that button, the roof opens up, and your mom's gonna shoot through the roof." And we were little. We're like, no, we'd be in the back seat, whatever.
Don't eject mom.
And then don't press the button. Because my dad would hold his finger up and he'd go, press the button. Your mom's going through the roof. Then as we got older, we're like, press the button, press the button, press the button. We'll see mom shoot through the roof. Say a prayer for that dad and the rest of that family. That is a mess, man. With that mom home soon. Yeah, dude. Help him with his 5 kids. Okay. Let's bring Nathan in here one more time. Nathan, I'll go back to your other song because I don't think Virginia thinks working.
Why, it's good old reliable Nathan. In traffic.
All right, no surprises out there. The commute looking very typical across the region. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 45 minutes. Southbound 405, you're heavy from 520 to Northeast 44th near the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton is a half-hour trip. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. You're looking really good until you hit Lake City Way, and then from there, it's packed down to I-90. North 5 is packed approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Our lake bridges are doing okay. Tacoma to Olympia, right around 45 minutes. Got a little slowing in South Tacoma, about a 2 to 3 mile backup through JBLM, and we're seeing building volumes as you head into Olympia. Everywhere else, again, looking pretty typical out there. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
You never know what you're going to find when you dig up your yard. In fact, you'll never believe what they dug up just outside our building. It's transportation related, and I'm going to tell you all about it in Choke Points tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Stay ahead of our summer traffic nightmare with Chris Sullivan's Choke Points on Seattle's Morning News. Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Years of commercial fishing are not easy on the human body. Just ask Anthony.
Pulling a lot of fish, it's a very repetitive task.
And the consequences were pretty painful.
I have torn rotator cuffs in both shoulders,
which made it just about impossible to do his job.
Fortunately, I'm the captain, so when my shoulders got to a point where I couldn't work the deck, I had others to do that.
But he knew that was no way to run a ship. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, who suggested stem cell therapy. And before long, all hands were back on deck.
After about 30 days, my shoulders are allowing me to do my job without pain. Both shoulders are getting stronger every day. That's a good thing.
So you'd recommend stem cell therapy to others, huh?
I definitely would. I absolutely am very happy with the results.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before choosing surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A muumuu is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Hartley and Brent Wilcox on mobile pasture eggs from Wilcox Family Farms.
Hartley, you worked with our mobile pasture barns.
tell us what mobile pasture means.
Well, mobile pasture is using a big tractor to pull the barns to new pasture each week. So the hens have fresh, green, nutritious grass to eat every day.
Why is that important?
Well, hens can get about 35% of their diet from the grass and bugs in the pasture. So before they pick one area clean, we just hook the tractor up and move it to fresh green grass.
And the fresh grass makes for the most amazing colored yolks.
At Wilcox Farms, we have over 500 acres of organic pastureland that ensures we never run out of fresh Northwest grass for our hens.
Always check the carton to make sure it's local.
When you see Wilcox, you know it's local, you know it's fresh.
Wilcox is the only local mobile pasture in the Northwest.
You really have to see videos of how it works.
And you can at wilcoxfarms.com.
Remember, the grass is always greener at Wilcox Farms.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
Deadly shooting at Minneapolis Catholic School church service.
There needs to be action.
At the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention,
Dr. Menarez is no longer at the CDC.
Some D.C. residents on National Guard and federal officers.
We want them to go away.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. As Catholic school students and other worshipers gathered for a beginning of the school year mass, shots were fired through windows at Annunciation School in Minneapolis. 2 children died. 17 others, 14 of them children, were rushed to hospitals. This 5th grader says his friend covered him for protection.
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him.
The shooter, identified by police as 23-year-old Robin Westman, is dead. CBS's Scott McFarland says of Westman,
a CBS News review of the background of the shooter shows the shooter was a former student at Annunciation, the shooter's mother, a former employee of the school. And so many of these mass shooting attacks, according to broad reviews by FBI and Secret Service, there is some connective tissue between the person who pulls the trigger and the target, be it the people at that institution or the institution itself.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem posts on social media that the 23-year-old shooter wrote on gun magazines, "For the children, where is your God?" and "Kill Donald Trump." FBI Director Kash Patel says the shooting is being investigated as domestic terrorism and a hate crime targeting Catholics. Vigils are planned in Minneapolis tonight. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports that CDC Director Dr. Susan Menarez...
She's now out following reports she may have crossed Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Specifically, she reportedly disagreed with Secretary Kennedy, who removed some members of a vaccine advisory committee and replaced them with some vaccine opponents. She also voiced concern about vaccine misinformation. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
2 other CDC directors have resigned, citing an unacceptable intersection of politics into public health. Washington, D.C.'s mayor says President Trump's federal crackdown on crime in the district has been helpful.
Mayor Muriel Bowser says the federal surge has been important to the district, and compared to the last 20 days in the same time period last year, there's been
a 87% reduction in carjackings.
But she also spoke strongly about the anxiety many district residents feel amid the surge. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Stocks closed up on Wall Street before AI giant NVIDIA announced that profits and revenue climbed, but shares slipped on fears of an AI bubble. Now this.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
Coming up, local Catholics gather to honor school shooting victims and a call for action. That's after Nate Connor is at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, we've got a big issue heading South 5 along Boeing Road, Boeing Field, rather. Actually, Boeing Access Road. This car fire blocks 3 right lanes. Now, the fire's out, but we're still blocking 3 right lanes, so that's one general purpose all-purpose lane and the HOV lane open right now, and you're sitting in a bumper-to-bumper backup starting at the north end of Boeing Field. Seattle to Federal Way is up to 55 minutes right now, and obviously this is going to shoot up. Everett to Marysville, 20 minutes. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both taking 45 minutes. I-5 is beginning to thicken up between Shoreline and North Linwood. 405 is solid now from about Northeast 85th in Kirkland into Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle is going to take you a half hour. You're all good till you hit Lake City Way, and then from there it is thick down to I-90. Southbound 405 heavy from 520 to just past 112th. Bellevue to Renton is going to take you a half hour, and Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute commute. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. That tragedy at a school mass in Minneapolis weighing heavy across the country, including here in Seattle. Dozens of parishioners taking part in a midday mass at St. James Cathedral. Father Michael led the service.
This produces a great amount of anger in me because we've been here before. We know what needs to happen, but we won't do it. So yes, anger and then deep sadness and grief for these people.
He says the cathedral will continue on with regular mass in the coming days. A boat captain accused of operating a container ship while intoxicated failed to appear in court today. A King County judge unclear exactly on how to pronounce the man's name.
State of Washington versus Ole Danielin.
The judge issued a $10,000 bench warrant for Ole Danielin, who's pleaded not guilty. Coast Guard says he had a blood alcohol limit more than 6 times the legal limit when the ship arrived at a Seattle port last week. King County agrees to pay $21.5 million to settle a lawsuit brought by a jogger who was viciously attacked by 2 dogs.
People in our neighborhood are getting really upset.
KIRO 7 TV spoke to neighbors after the attack in 2022. They said the dogs were living with squatters at a home in unincorporated Auburn. The victim's attorney says the property owner will sell the home as part of the settlements. The president of Microsoft now says the company's security knew something was up before those protesters stormed his office in Redmond. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Brad Smith says they got a tip before 7 pro-Palestinian activists, including 2 employees, occupied his office.
We did get a report yesterday afternoon from an employee that someone from the activist group was calling around and seeking a floor plan of this floor.
The protesters claim Israel is using Microsoft technology to wage war in Gaza. Redmond police arrested all 7 on suspicion of trespassing, resisting arrest, and obstruction. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And your weather update is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. For tonight, we'll see some increasing clouds. A few isolated showers are also possible this evening, mainly isolated mountain thunderstorms and perhaps some lowland thunderstorm chances as well. Right now, 75 and partly cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granello, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hug your mommy, you're hugging a commie. Do that, Andrew. You can't take it out of context like that.
That's my job. That's my job description of taking it out of context.
But you gotta listen to the whole thing. Okay, well, never mind.
It's a tease for them to listen to the first song.
Oh, that's what it is. All right.
Oh,
hey, can you get Travis some sort of historic music to bring him on with without us getting into trouble? Hold on, you're diving in. All right, here we go. All right, Travis Couture, the 35th. They're in Shelton and Tumwater and Kitsap County. It's the same music I play for Jim Walsh. Gets him all riled up. Boy, was he hot under the collar last time we had him on.
Yes, he was.
Have you checked his blood pressure recently?
No, I haven't, but maybe there'll be a thick fog that he can escape from. I just want to say, John,
yes.
I wanted to give you a good 3.5 for your British accent out of 10.
Wow, out of 10.
It was a little bit more Burger King and less Buckingham Palace. And, it was so terrible that I thought the Revolutionary War was going to start again.
Right. Well, yeah, Travis, you're not on here to critique my English accent. So the reason you're on for two things. One, I saw a Seattle Times article, and I got to commend them. I made it through the entire article without them mentioning Trump in this one. And then I went back to see they did this similar article, and nothing has changed. They did another one back in April. And so it's the same story, which is they're in Olympia. They said, hey, we're going to come up with this whole new IT program because it's too complicated with the processes we have when it comes to people that are claiming they've got some sort of, they've been hurt on the job or whatever. It's way too many that we have to process. So we're going to have this new IT program. We get this computer system in place. I think when did they start this? In 2015, Travis?
Yeah, it started in 2015, so it's been going on a decade.
Okay.
And we have absolutely nothing to show for it. We've invested over $30 million and got nothing. And in the last budget, even though I tried to zero that out, the Democrat budget writers decided to give it another, $17, $18 million to keep it afloat. And then last Friday, WATEC sent a letter to L&I finally saying, hey, we're suspending your money in the budget. But even if they had started, from square one and everything went perfectly, it was going to take another 10 years and $240 million to complete. And as well as I do that with technology, there's planned obsolescence. I mean, after 20 years of trying to build something, there's probably something better. And it's just kind of embarrassing because we live in this place with like this tons of innovation and tech companies and everything else. And, we can't even get an IT project done. And we have like 56 different IT projects, and we're going to be spending over $2 billion on those things. And most of them are behind schedule and behind budget. And as a former, project manager myself for a Fortune 500 company, I would have been fired 10 times over for failures like this. I think Joel Sachs and the governor need to be accountable for these kind of failures because literally it's pillaging and stealing taxpayer money and delivering nothing.
How behind are they in Olympia? I remember talking to Senator Andy Hill, may he rest in peace. He told me that when he got elected, he got in there. He said, well, let me take a look at the budget. And he thought it would be on a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet or something. And they put down a leather, like old-fashioned credits to the left, debits to the right book. He's like, are you kidding me? This is how you keep track of the budget? He said, I then went back into like a time machine. You, with your tech background, you see this. And for them to take 20 years or 10 years to try to come up with this sort of thing, is it really that antiquated?
Maybe a touch better than when Andy Hill, rest in peace, was still around. But yeah, it's still pretty antiquated. And one thing I'd like to point out is that there's two different kind of levels to the budget. There's maintenance level, which is like your ongoing maintenance level spending. And that is not always very clear to not any legislator, but also not always staff. And it's a huge task to go unpack from state agencies what they're actually spending. I actually tried to look at how much DEI spending is going on in our state agencies. And instead of giving me the numbers back, the state agencies went and talked to the Seattle Times. And then the Seattle Times asked me if I was asking for DEI spending in our state agencies. And I said, yeah, Jim, go back to your sources and tell them to hurry up. I'm still waiting for it. And they never really gave it back. And then when they did send some stuff, it was explosive amount of money, especially in our state universities. But all the big agencies never came back. And it's really tough to budget that way. And you would expect that, big $80 billion budget, state agencies and state government, you're going to have, a computer run all of these things. But it's not, it's more complicated than that. And it's not as up to date.
Were you trying to get rid of the Washington Workforce Empowerment Collective, the sort of the DEI thing that Inslee put in place? I think they spend $25 million a year in there. Were you part of that? I know there's a couple guys that were saying, hey, zero that thing out. We don't need, I forget the staff. They're up to 30 people or something like that. The DEI Washington State, I don't even know what they do. I watched the woman being interviewed. She seems nice enough. And the guy kept asking her, well, what do you do? what's the department do? She wasn't able to really put any verbs in any of the sentences. I was like trying to, break it down, the noun, verb, predicate and stuff. I was like, well, what action are you doing with the $25 million? It was all about this just sort of floating, gauzy words with really nothing going on about equity. And we're trying to bring this around for, this community and that community. Did you try to zero that thing out? I know a couple of guys did, and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we tried. We proposed a bill to end. I think you're talking about the Office of Equity.
Yeah.
Which would have saved us somewhere around the neighborhood of $20-something million. Especially when you're facing a big budget deficit and the largest tax increases in state history. It's like, is this a nice to have, or is it? Some people will hate it and whatever, and some people will love it in Washington State. But is it absolutely necessary to the functioning of government? One of the things I really did try to do, and it's actually kind of, topical right now, is that, as everyone is sending their kids back to school and having to buy all those school supplies to send their kids back, myself and House Republicans proposed a sales tax holiday for back to school supplies. And that would have saved the average family at least $85 to $100 on their trip, and which is a meaningful amount of money if you're, strapped and you got a lot of kids to take care of. And what I was trying to do in order to pay for that sales tax holiday was slash DEI spending at our state universities and zero that out. And, I basically got told by the majority party, like, oh, how dare you try to get rid of DEI in favor of, helping teachers and students out with school supplies. And I said, look at the University of Washington, our state universities, over $80 million in DEI spending. And I said, we don't need a bunch of paid $100,000 six-figure pronoun police in our state universities while they sit around and, harass and intimidate and threaten Jewish students on their campuses. What part of diversity, equity, and inclusion is that? Why are we even paying for something if a Jewish student can't safely attend the University of Washington? But, sadly, they turned that down. And as a result, everyone gets to spend a lot more on back to school stuff and backpacks, notebooks, and the like. And teachers who are, probably buying that stuff for low income students for their classrooms. Right. But, they protected DEI spending at the same time as they were robbing single mothers on the edge of poverty from their child support payments. And I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. One of the biggest news that came out recently is that, they were blaming the federal government for all this Medicaid slashing. Well, they had
my God, Travis, I'm going to be like Jim Walsh. My blood pressure going through the roof. I saw cuts. I forget, it might have been Patty Murray or Cantwell or somebody saying yesterday about these cuts on this Medicaid stuff. I'm like, can someone actually put the real numbers out there and explain who is going to be asked to leave the Medicaid, department if you're getting Medicaid? I don't think it hits them till 2029 or something like that. I think it's about 7 million Americans altogether. These are able-bodied individuals that were included during COVID. They got into the program. You don't need them. They don't need it necessarily. They can still get health care, but they're going to simply say, isn't it, you have to work 20 hours a week part-time. You have to either be in a job training program, which is another joke, or you have to be in school in order to be able to get Medicaid. Right. And they're simply work requirements are being put in place. And everybody's all panicked in the state of Washington that people are going to be dying in the streets.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, H.R. 1 or the big, beautiful bill on the federal level, as they call it. I mean, we won't even see impacts really, truly until 2027, 2028. So really zero Medicaid cuts have happened from the federal level at present time. But long before H.R. 1 or the big beautiful bill was even proposed, Democrats have already cooked up over $750 million of Medicaid cuts, and they weren't tackling new work requirements for able-bodied people or taking it away from illegal immigrants who don't belong in our country or taking away elective surgeries for transgender people, right? What they did was far worse and more indiscriminate. What they did is they cut 95% from low-income Washingtonians, people on disabilities, and senior citizens on long-term care assistance programs. And I mean, at the same time, you got to understand what they did with that money. They spent over $1 billion giving bureaucrats and themselves pay raises. So they literally cut healthcare from poor people in a lot of our communities and seniors and people with disabilities in order to basically pay for enormous increases in pay. And one of the things that is kind of shocking about this is it took a while to get those actual numbers because Republicans are not invited into the room during the budget negotiations. And they said, well, this isn't new news. And I'm like, well, it's new news to everybody else who wasn't, because you locked everyone in the state of Washington out of the room while you cooked up this terrible budget. You raised our taxes over $9 billion and then increased reckless spending by 8%. And for the fourth straight budget in a row, you plan to spend more than you take in revenue, which is the exact thing that got us into this problem and this mess in the first place. But you shifted money from people who actually are served and need state government to yourselves and your friends. And that's wrong, right? And at the end of the day, this Bob Ferguson knowingly and Democrats knowingly signed the largest Medicaid cut in state history into law. And then they tried to point the fingers like the hypocrites that they are at everybody else because they just hope that we're all useful idiots and then we'll just believe hook, line, and sinker what they say.
This is particularly with State Representative Travis Couture there in the 35th. How much of the ominous orange cloud hanging over the state of Washington is putting the fear of God into the progressive legislators there in Olympia? And how do you feel about the threats coming from the White House that they might send the National Guard into Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, Trump has sent in National Guard and other law enforcement into D.C. where he has jurisdiction, right? And he's cleaned up a lot of crime. And I think, as successful as that's looking right now, I think, that's not necessarily a long-term solution. But I think what President Trump is doing is proving a point that you have these blue hellhole cities that are crime-ridden with homelessness and drug epidemics and all sorts of things, and that it didn't take him much effort to go clean up at least one of these cities. And so, a constitutionalist, I'm not really sure that I'm for like having the president march in with troops into every blue city. But I think the point has been proven that, with different leadership in some of these cities, including cities like Seattle and Tacoma and others, right, that different things can be done with different leadership who actually cares about justice, who actually cares about public safety and our law enforcement and cares about solving crimes and protecting victims. Right. And so, although I'm not really for like, let's send them in, across every city, I think that the point has been proven there.
I think he's basically trying to do, I'll do law and order, even though constitutionally, as you mentioned, he doesn't have the ability. He can't send the National Guard, and the governor must ask for the National Guard to be issued in that state. He can do it in D.C. for 30 days under, I guess he can declare, it's an emergency of some sort. He's done that a number of times, but he can't bring them into Seattle. Do you think he does this sort of stuff, to the hell with the Constitution? I'm going to do this, and then the folks are going to fight this, but what they're really fighting is law and order. And maybe the people that aren't being mugged will see, hey, we like this, and it lights a fire under the leaders in those cities to step up and start to provide safety. Is he just basically trying to play him a little bit?
Yeah, I think, there's probably multiple angles here. One of them is to, make Democrats in blue cities defend their crime-ridden, records. Right. And so when President Trump proposes things like this, they seem kind of, out of the box. Right. And not what most Americans are used to. But then a lot of Americans are sick and tired of places like Chicago, where there's like a mass shooting every single day on the streets. Right. And so, I don't know exactly what will come of all of it. I'm mostly focused on state politics anyway. But, I don't think it would be very popular here in Washington, probably, somewhat, left, right, and center if there was troops. I mean, there's posse comitatus, right? I mean, you just can't do it.
Well, we don't have to quarter them. I know that's in the Constitution if they came in. Let's say one quick thing. Do you believe that Trump's trying to get DEI out of the University of Washington? Will that be able to wedge it out, or will they just change the wording so they don't get caught?
Yeah, I think that they will try to change the wording, but then there'll be a tug of war of, every time they try to do that, they'll try to put the screws on them a little bit more. And you have already seen changes now to Title IX to go back on biological males and girl sports and things of that nature. And, there's a lot on the line for the state universities, but I question anybody, why do we want to spend a bunch of DEI money in a state university that can't protect Jewish students, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And we have these people who don't really know what they do. They're essentially almost consultants. They're getting paid six figures.
Yeah.
I call them, $100,000 pronoun police.
Well,
right?
they want to be inclusive. So not only will they abuse at the University of Washington any conservative student, but will also abuse the Jews as well. So, it is
and
inclusive.
That's the thing. I mean, the UW's own climate survey shows with its own staff that it's one of the most non-inclusive schools in the entire United States. I mean, that was their own study, right? And so you just can't make this stuff up. And,
you must be a coug. Are you a coug?
No.
That's right. You went to some Ivy League school, didn't you, Mr. Fancy Pants? Where'd you go?
No, School of Hard Knocks, the United States Navy.
Oh, all right.
I got a Chapman University system.
There we go.
University MBA.
All right, let's end it with this. Go Navy.
Exactly. Go Navy.
Beat Army. Come on, Travis. Beat Army.
Go Navy, beat Army.
Beat Army. There we go. Travis Couture, thank you for the 35th. Thanks for spending some time with us. Let's go over to Nate over there. Then darn it. I get
you're on the Snickers. Yep. You owe me a Snickers. All right, I got it. Oh,
no, it's been old. Never mind. Here you go.
Okay, fine. Seattle Sports has our update. Tequila, we cleared that car fire South 5 at the Boeing Access Road. You'll see it on the right shoulder, but you're left with the backup from the West Seattle Bridge to mid-Boeing Field. Seattle to Federal Way right now is at 55 minutes. Now, this backup is real close to connecting to our backup starting further north at Lake City Way in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle is going to take you a half hour. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. It's beginning to thicken up between Northgate and North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. You're solid from Kirkland into Canyon Park. In Bellevue, South 405 at 520, we've got a disabled vehicle blocking your left lane, and you're packed from that point all the way through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton's at 40 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia is a 55-minute commute, and the Mariners game just ended, so we can expect to see added volumes leaving downtown Seattle. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Let's go! You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Is it me or is it musty?
Oh, damp. Check the bathroom.
Damp! Wait!
Yeah?
I'm ordering damp bread!
Get rid of the damp by trapping excess moisture with Damp Rid.
What does it take to get justice for a man paralyzed after a cycling accident? Thousands of documents reviewed, hundreds of thousands of dollars paid for experts and investigations, and over 6 years of hard-fought litigation fighting all the way to the Washington State Supreme Court. Because when King County said he deserved nothing, we proved he deserved better. $10 million better.
Everything that could be done was being done to help us.
Chris did a great job. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888.
We live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and owning your own deck is a great way to enjoy it. But finding the right decking solution can be overwhelming. That's why all 9 of our Puget Sound locations offer decking showrooms so you can get your hands and toes on the more than 60 decking options we carry. So if you have any questions about building, maintaining, or repairing your deck, contact me personally. Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Dunn Lumber, your decking headquarters since 1907.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A gunman took aim this morning at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. 5th grader Weston Halsney.
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
Police say the shooter fired through windows during mass, killing 2 students ages 8 and 10. CBS's Lena Zach says the gunman injured 14 other kids and 3 adults in their 80s.
Students were starting to enter for morning mass. This was just their 3rd day of school. Many of them already seated. We learned that some of them were still making their way down the aisle and into the pews, and that's when the shooter started firing through the stained glass window into those pews.
Shooter then took his own life. Police still looking for a motive. They say the 23-year-old man left behind a manifesto. Several campgrounds, roads, and trails near Leavenworth are back open today after the FBI finished searching for new clues in the Travis Decker case. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says 100 people scoured the area near Rock Island Campground. It's where police say Decker murdered his 3 daughters nearly 3 months ago.
Looking into similar cases, we found that historically and typically the youth found the homicide suspect and those responsible within a quarter mile of the scene, either alive and or deceased.
Says the information they gather now could help future investigators. On this first day of school for students in the Enumclaw School District, the White River Bridge remains closed between Enumclaw and Buckley. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minglavin reports that has left families bracing for a lengthy commute.
The White River Bridge closure will create some traffic struggles. The district maps for both White River schools and Enumclaw, and the bridge is actually on the edge of both districts, but there will be some crossover. A semi crashed into the bridge last week, and it is closed indefinitely for repairs, leaving commuters with a lengthy detour around it.
And today, Governor Ferguson issued an emergency proclamation on the bridge. He is seeking federal funds to help pay for those repairs. Let's check real-time traffic now at 4:33. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Home Comfort Alliance has our update. Seattle to Federal Way, you've improved nicely down to 40 minutes after clearing that earlier car fire, South 5 at the Boeing Access Road, and that earlier backup is cleared out as well. So we're back to our normal afternoon backup from Inner Urban Avenue down to State Route 516. Linwood to Seattle's a half-hour drive. It's still packed at Lake City Way in the downtown. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both pushing 50 minutes apiece. In Bellevue, we cleared that stall already. South 405 near 520. You're packed, though, from that point on through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton is right around 40 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, you're pushing an hour. Your biggest holdup here is about a 3 to 4 mile backup through JBLM. And again, that Mariners game ended about a half hour ago. That's why we're seeing added volumes hitting the expressways and the freeways here in downtown Seattle. Save 50 to 75% by combining tax credits, rebates, and incentives on a new heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
A band of rain right now, stretching from Olympia over to the Cascades. Some activity right now in the mountains. Could stretch over to the foothills tonight. And the rest of us, though, should stay dry with highs in the upper 70s. Right now, 76 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Heat waves. It's like lid on a pot. High pressure traps heat and blocks out cool air. KIRO 7 Pinpoint Future Track alerts you to heat waves days in advance. Some team coverage on KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days keeps you plugged in so you can prepare and stay safe. Watch KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather only on KIRO 7 News.
Well said, well read, Joe. Bucky's Auto Service Centers, the choice is quite clear. You can take the car to Bucky's Auto Service Centers. They've got 60 locations, been around for 55 years. Get the car repaired or just let it sit in the driveway. And then friends and neighbors comment on it, and it's an eyesore. Drive it down the road, have parts of it fall off. So just take it to Bucky's. I mean, we lay it out that way. Boing. Yeah. You guys sit in the driveway, and then your wife and you get into an argument about it, and then she says, well, that's it, I'm out of here. She packs her bag, she moves in with her mother, and then she files for divorce, and then you're looking at a huge, the attorneys are going back and forth, charging you $600 an hour. You're battling over whatever you got left. Or just take the car to Bucky's.
Boing. $600 an hour, is that?
I don't know. Oh, I do know.
You would know. Don't get divorced.
That's why I'm doing the show. Paying some bills. Okay. A couple of things. Just the law. The President of the United States, whether it's Trump or anybody else, has the power over D.C. To do things that they can't do in other cities. So, because the D.C. is like a little stepchild of the Congress. Congress really has ultimate control over D.C. They established their own government, and they were able to sort of do things, get going there in the 1970s. And it's been a mess. Their budgets have been off. They've all sorts of crime. It's really pretty poorly run. In fact, I forget what year was that the Congress took back over. It was when Marion Barry was in there in 1990. When Barry was in there after he got out of prison for smoking crack cocaine, the Congress went in and took over the books and were running the city. They gave it back to them again. So, but the president legally can go in for 30 days. He can send the National Guard in. So. He, the president, and the rest of the gang over there is saying, well, things are really moving along. We're actually helping because D.C. crime is down.
I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done. One of them said he's gone out 4 nights in a row, and he hadn't gone out for 4 years. So it's a great tribute to you. And when I look at you people, I understand why, because there's no games, right? We're not playing games. We're going to make it safe. And we're going to then go on to other places, but we're going to stay here for a while. We want to make
You're going to go on to other places.
It's absolutely perfect. It's our capital. And I guess it used to be many years ago safe, but it's certainly not had a very good run. But the crime numbers are way down. I'm looking at, you saw some of the stats. They just read them out to me inside, the numbers that we haven't seen here ever. And I think it's probably right now, it's to me, I feel very safe now, and I'm hearing people are very safe, but I know within 2 weeks it's going to be, Pam, it's going to be at a level that's even far superior.
Okay. So here's the other sort of thing that's happened as well. So Congressman Comers is running a congressional panel to investigate whether or not the D.C. has manipulated crime data. A whistleblower has come forward and claimed that the District 3rd Commander, Michael Polian, who's on administrative leave right now, altered crime reports. So they were just reporting. So if you got assaulted with a deadly weapon, they put that in as a misdemeanor or something just to move the numbers around so it didn't look so bad. And this was prior to, they said this has been going on for a couple of years. So the numbers are sort of screwy because the Metropolitan Police Department has a duty to federal and local law to accurately report crime when it comes to the public. So now Comer is going to bring the whistleblower in and try to get the real numbers to determine what was really happening in D.C. Prior to the National Guard going in there and then Trump saying, hey, the numbers are down. It had been, I think, 13 days before there was a homicide or something like that. So then Stephen Miller runs in. Oh, Miller's jumping in there to talk about the cover-up.
We've uncovered, in the process of uncovering, a massive scandal in Washington, D.C. with the doctoring of crime stats. And the Department of Justice, under the Attorney General, is leading the effort to uncover this. But when we ultimately share the results, it will stun you.
Okay. All right. So you're not winning anyone over. Listen, it just makes the people on the left just really hate you that much more. They don't want the National Guard, and the National Guard is mostly over near Union Station. They're very visible. They do say, if you trust these numbers, 42% drop in violent crime, 25% drop when it comes to 2 weeks earlier. Blah, 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 blah. Property crime is down 10%. And just things are, I guess you don't have as many people. They also cleared out a whole bunch of homeless places out of there. And then, oh my God, Donald Trump Jr. jumps in.
And despite all the uproar you saw from the Democrats in the media, it's interesting when you do all the candid interviews of people on the streets of D.C., 93% of whom are hardened leftists. They're like, no, this is great. I feel safe. This is a wonderful
93%. That's the number of people that voted for somebody other than Donald Trump.
thing. Let's do this. Maybe we should roll out the tour to Portland, Seattle.
Oh, yeah. They're going to love you in Seattle.
The other, what we'd call, crap hole cities of the country, not because they're crap holes, but because Democrats made them so. Yeah. Maybe we're going to expand this because it's sort of interesting when a very left-leaning base is actually encouraging these kind of policies because they know the truth.
Yeah, but legally you can't do it. Oh, it wants to go into Chicago.
People I watched in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois is a disaster. I have property there. It's a disaster what's going on in Chicago. And you get Pritzker, he's violating our rights. I think this is another men and women's sports thing. I think this is one of those, they call them 80-20 issues. I call them 97-3.
You know that, the 80-20s?
I do, but
you run on the 80-20s. That 80% of the people are with you, 20% are not. You got the big majority pushing you across the line. What's wrong?
He shouted it out 97.3, KIRO Newsradio.
Oh, did he there? That for us?
Yeah.
I call them 80-20 issues. I call them 97-3.
There you go. Save that one.
I think the Democrats better.
Yeah, because Trump plays real well in Seattle.
Get smart. And, politically, I hope they don't. But actually, in terms of love for the country, I hope they do because it will be good to work together.
Okay, you can't go in. They're not going to bright you. You can't send the National Guard into any of these cities. You want to see people get really upset. The other part of it is I think he's doing this, or at least, it's scaring enough people with this is a way of just create a mess, right? Get the attention over here, get things going around, and you just threaten with it. There's a lot of threatening. And then you get everybody all worked up. You troll them up there with this sort of stuff. Hey, we're coming into Seattle. It gets everybody talking, and, it just creates smoke and fire somewhere else while other things are going on. Like the federal government, like the U.S. government owning parts of businesses. That's the dumbest idea.
How did that come
Oh my
about?
God! We are going to go 10% of the profit. We're going to be involved with. We're going to be in the stock market.
How is that legal?
How's any of this legal? Who cares? He said our radio name.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Sheesh.
97.3.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Nicely done. All righty, over there. We're not going to play your Virgin song. Apparently, well, okay. All right. Then here you go. Here's how Nate starts every morning.
Yep.
Andrew, this is Nate.
While I listen to SMN in the morning.
Virginity is cool. Come on. Virginity
That's Nate leading the
cool.
charge.
What up? Virginity is cool.
That's how I wake my wife up every morning.
Come on.
All right. Everett to Marysville, down to 15 minutes. Scattered backups between the Boeing Freeway and 529. Getting there from Seattle, 50 minutes. It's solid from Lake City Way now through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 55. It's heavy between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Bellevue to South Center will take you 35 minutes. Typical backup here between Bellevue through Factoria. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, looking good on 520 at 15 minutes. 25 minutes on I-90. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 50 minutes. We've got a pretty solid backup now from Renton all the way into Sumner. Eastbound 512, we're seeing scattered backups from Parkland over to Canyon Road. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, you want to live a long, long life. You never hear anybody say, I will live a short, desperate, pathetic, miserable life. No, long life. Here's the problem. We're aging, and there's no such thing as aging gracefully. But you can slow it down. You can slow down the aging process. The science is known to the good doctors there at Longevity Medical Clinic because they know what to look for that normally take us out of the game and really increase the speed in which we decline. And that's, of course, heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. So you make an investment of about 6 hours a year. That's all you got to do, 6 hours a year, and you're going to get in return a longer life. That's a really nice ROI, return on investment. So you go in, you get yourself a doctor, you do a blood draw, and then 2 weeks later, you're on the phone with your doctor for about an hour. You'll do this maybe 4, 5, or 6 times a year, and your doctor is going to be proactive, looking for early indication of those heart disease, diabetes, and cancer markers, and then being proactive to slow them down, reverse them, stop them. It's as simple as that. 6 hours, giving you a longer life. I'd take that. In fact, I'm doing it right now. I've been a patient since 2009. Take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
You never know what you're going to find when you dig up your yard. In fact, you'll never believe what they dug up just outside our building. It's transportation related, and I'm going to tell you all about it in Choke Points tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Stay ahead of our summer traffic nightmare with Chris Sullivan's Choke Points on Seattle's Morning News. Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
And Julio makes the catch. No fly zone in full effect.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and the strike three called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here for the stretch run at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are kicking off their next homestand with a 3-day Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway against the Cardinals, September 8th to 10th. Plus, don't miss the final Mariners fireworks night of the season, September 12th against the Angels, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
We live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and owning your own deck is a great way to enjoy it. But finding the right decking solution can be overwhelming. That's why all 9 of our Puget Sound locations offer decking showrooms so you can get your hands and toes on the more than 60 decking options we carry. So if you have any questions about building, maintaining, or repairing your deck, contact me personally. Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Dunn Lumber, your decking headquarters since 1907.
Hey, it's Brock Ewart here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
How are those letters for Teeny coming in at 1-888-973-5476?
They're coming in.
There you go. They're good. They're coming in. Thanks, Joe, for that. And again, it's KIRO Radio. Mr. President, what are the call numbers again?
97.3.
There you go. All right. We're milking that one. Township meeting. This is in Cecil, Pennsylvania. Was a meeting where the city would be shutting down the local motocross track where they race dirt bikes because noise complaints about the bikes. So then a local motorcyclist had to voice his concerns.
I really just came up here to say that.
Sorry, real quick. We just need your name and your address for the record, please.
I just came up here to say that.
Whoa. Name and address. Where are you?
I'm sorry. I need you to state.
You're either going to hear them where they're allowed to be. Stop it.
You need to state your name
where they're not
and
allowed
address.
to be.
Okay. You need to.
That's not bad. Was that a 250? Is that a 250, you think?
I don't know, but it's a 2-stroke, that's for sure. Oh, yeah.
No. Can you do a better one than this guy? Yes.
Ring, ding, 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 ring, ding, 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 ding.
Nate, what do you got? What do you got, Nate? What's that?
I got nothing.
You got nothing on that? What do you think? Is that banging sound? Is that the master cylinder?
Yes.
Hear that clicking? That could be a problem. That could be the chain.
Starts running around the chain.
Now he's running around?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's the goat part that's making that noise.
Next, Please.
Next, this man accused city officials of being an alien, and then the dirt bike guy came back.
Hello, board. I am a U.S. taxpayer.
Oh, boy, this guy. Yeah, I'm also a sovereign citizen.
I think you're all government leeches, and you should step down.
Okay, yeah.
And this lady, she's an alien. Look at the way she looks.
All right, is that it for public comment? Anyone else?
He's going to burn out that clutch. How much longer is he going
If
for?
there's further disruption, we're going to have to ask you to leave. It's still a disruption to folks in here. We're in the process of doing that. Oh, okay. Okay. So as soon as it starts, we're going to ask for some chill in the audience here. Now, you could take that part of it outside, but we're going to reconvene here.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Yeah, you can't take the heat.
They've had
You
it.
can't take the exhaust. I can tell, is that guy in favor of motorbikes or not? I don't know why.
Yeah.
I've lost control.
Hey, well,
I think a motion we've moved to adjourn.
they voted against the motor cars.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I thought the guy did a great job advocating for it. There you go. Nate, I thought you'd be all over the two-stroke on that one.
Yeah,
no?
that's the
You
one
don't do-
thing
you
I
don't
just
do
can't.
that.
Yeah, I'm above that.
You are above that. All right, here's Nate over there taking a look at traffic.
Yep,
for us.
Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. You're solid from Lake City Way through north of Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 55. Heavy now from Bellevue into Canyon Park. Let's see. Everett to Seattle, 45 minutes. 35 from Linwood. There's this brief backup at the Boeing Freeway, and then more crowding in Linwood, and then you're packed from Lake City Way to I-90. Southbound 99 in Seattle is crowded from South Lake Union down onto East Marginal. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, 15 minutes on 520, 25 minutes on I-90. Renton to Puyallup is pretty solid from Renton all the way into Sumner. It's taking you 50 minutes to clear this. And eastbound 512, pretty solid now from Parkland over to Canyon Road. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
You never know what you're going to find when you dig up your yard. In fact, you'll never believe what they dug up just outside our building. It's transportation related, and I'm going to tell you all about it in Choke Points tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Stay ahead of our summer traffic nightmare with Chris Sullivan's Choke Points on Seattle's Morning News. Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service.
Really?
Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 10/9/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of one unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. One discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
Hey, college students, Safeway is giving you 5% off. That's right. Junior colleges, tech schools, universities. Just verify your student ID in the app. Unlock exclusive deals and shop on the app or in person. Better yet, subscribe to Fresh Pass to get free delivery and other special offers. Remember, if you use EBT, Fresh Pass is 50% off and you get savings on fresh produce. For all the details, visit Safeway.com/4U. That's Safeway.com/FOR in the letter U.
World-renowned pianist and composer Keiko Matsui returns to Dimitro's Jazz Alley this week, August 28th through 31st. Don't miss 6 intimate shows featuring music from her stunning new album, Euphoria. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A mass shooting during a back-to-school Catholic church service in Minneapolis leaves 2 children dead and 17 other people injured. CBS's Matt Piper with more.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says thoughts and prayers just are not enough anymore.
Look, we need to be doing more than talking. It can't just be words. There needs to be action.
Police Chief Brian O'Hara says they're trying to figure out the why.
All of our federal law enforcement partners have been here, and we are all working tirelessly to uncover the full scope of what happened, to try and identify a motive why it happened.
Matt DeBoer is principal at Annunciation Catholic School.
I love you. You're so brave, and I'm so sorry this happened to us today.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
After less than a month on the job, the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is shown the door. CBS's John Dickerson.
Susan Monterez is a longtime government scientist who apparently ran into disagreements over vaccine policy with Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The president withdrew his first choice to head the agency from consideration over his views linking vaccines and autism.
Also today, some other top CDC leaders said they are resigning. Crime numbers have dropped in Washington, D.C. since the president deployed federal troops and law enforcement agents throughout the nation's capital. CBS's Erica Brown.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says she spoke with President Trump earlier in the day and says the takeover has helped lower crime. In a social media post overnight, the president wrote he's working with Republican congressional leaders on a comprehensive crime bill, saying it's what the country needs and now.
The Trump administration also says it will take control of Union Station, one of the city's main transit hubs. The United Nations Security Council has met about the ongoing war in Gaza. Dorothy Shea is the United States acting ambassador to the UN.
We urge the UN Security Council and all members to play a constructive role, call for the immediate release of remaining hostages, hold Hamas to account, and demand it disarm and leave Gaza.
AI giant NVIDIA shares dip despite record sales. It's due to fears of an AI chip spending bubble. There are also concerns that the company's business may be stalled in China. CBS's Kelly O'Grady reports.
This was yet another good NVIDIA earnings report. It feels crazy that they can continue to deliver on these massive amounts of numbers, and yet they do.
The NVIDIA numbers came after the markets closed today. The Dow jumped 147 points, NASDAQ rose 46. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, there is a strong local connection to today's tragedy in Minneapolis. That is after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Everett to Marysville is a 15-minute drive. You do have scattered backups, though, between the Boeing Freeway and 529. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. It's solid starting at Lake City Way through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, you're at 50 minutes. Heavy volumes between Bellevue and Canyon Park. Everett to Seattle coming the other way is climbed to 55 minutes. 35 from Linwood. You've got this brief backup there at the Boeing Freeway past the Everett Mall slowing you down. More crowding through Linwood, and then you'll clear out at about 44th, and then it's packed from Lake City Way again down to I-90. Everett to Bellevue is just a half hour. South 405 is crowded, though, between Alderwood and Canyon Park. Once you get to Bellevue, South 405 is bumper to bumper at 520, all the way down to Northeast 44th. Bellevue to Renton, plan on 40 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way is also a 40-minute commute. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is down to 45, but it's still pretty solid between Renton and Sumner. Tacoma to Olympia, plan on 55 minutes. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo, the principal of the Catholic school at the center of today's mass shooting.
And we will recover from this. We will rebuild from this.
Has a close connection to Seattle. Matthew DeBoer spent 8 years as principal at St. Therese Catholic Academy in the Madrona neighborhood. People who knew him tell KIRO 7 TV DeBoer was well respected here.
And knowing Matt, I just feel for him. I'm sure he feels it personally.
DeBoer's wife was also a teacher at Holy Names in Seattle. Their family moved to Minneapolis in 2022. Legal troubles continue for the captain accused of operating a shipping container in Elliott Bay while intoxicated, allegedly. KIRO News Radio's Gwen Baumgartner has more.
King County prosecutors allege Ukrainian captain Ole Danielin captained a shipping container last week. His blood alcohol levels at 6 times the legal limit. A passenger alerted the Coast Guard of smelling alcohol on his breath. Danielin says it was mouthwash. He pleaded not guilty to the charge of operating a vessel under the influence, but at a pre-trial hearing Wednesday, he was a no-show.
Court prepared to find that he's failed to appear.
The judge issuing a warrant for Danielin, explaining to his interpreter that he needs to turn himself in before his next court date. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
King County agrees to pay $21.5 million to a woman who was mauled by dogs back in 2022. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports the attack happened in unincorporated Auburn.
The 38-year-old mother was jogging on a public street when 2 dogs attacked her.
Her injuries were absolutely horrific.
Attorney Gemma Zanowski says the woman's undergone more than 20 surgeries to repair bones, lacerations, and other wounds. And she says it could have been prevented. Neighbors told KIRO 7 TV they had repeatedly complained about the vicious dogs being kept by squatters at a nearby home.
What is it going to have to take to wake up and get these people out of this house?
Zanowski says as part of the settlement, the property owner has agreed to sell the home. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
Forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exterior. Some activity tonight in the mountains and also in parts of Olympia, moving east toward the mountains. Some showers there, possibly spilling out over in the foothills tonight. Other than that, just cloudy skies. Right now, 75 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
There's something more primitive about being nude, you know?
Thank you, Joe. Oh, look at you just picking up the little pieces.
I learned that in jail.
I bet you did. Diving into the news. All right. So, first day of school for those kids in Minneapolis. They go to church. Normally, that's the way it works. I remember all my years of Catholic school. Normally, you start with the Mass on your first day of school. A 23-year-old man identifying as a woman, Robin Westman, gets a gun, bunch of guns, and goes to the school and fires through the stained glass windows. And now, is it 2 children died? And I think 17 injured. And this is the story of a mass shooting. So you get your chief of police is in there describing the shooter, the weapons. Oh, hold on. There we go. And my button.
Shot these victims, took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators.
Okay. And that, this search for the manifesto and then looking for a reason. What a waste of time. What could possibly, and this always happens with all of these. Oh, we're going to find the manifesto and we're going to find out the reason. What possible reason would go, oh, well, that makes sense, right? Well, you're trying to put reason and rational thought behind an act that the action itself is incapable of having a rational thought behind it. Joe and I watched the video, which was taken down immediately by YouTube, but he's standing there and he's showing some of his writings, or her writings, whatever, and a bunch of kill Trump. I mean, it's and then something about the Jews and 6 million wasn't enough. Yep. And just all over the place for this 23-year-old. So now here we go. This happened before 2023. Hale, a woman identifying as a man, goes into that school in Nashville, kills a 9-year-old and 3 adults. Right, and immediately, the news comes out. But before the news comes out, activists come out, and one of the tweet was something like, if those parents would still that parent would still have their child alive if you hadn't pushed for Tennessee to stop care for our trans youth. It's within 24 hours people are tweeting on this stuff. So you immediately, the victim becomes, for Aubrey Hale, the victim was Hale, not the kid and the 3 adults. Because you immediately go with the oppressor, Hanna-Barbera view of the world where, she or he's justified in this because of the way being treated. No, there's no rational thought behind any of this. And to look for it, you are just constantly chasing after your tail or your idea of what could possibly come forward. So this manifesto, if it is released, hopefully they don't do what they did in Nashville where they hid it, try to stop it, they give it to the parents, and they say they're copyrights and they can't go out, they can't give it to somebody else. And the judge was told, well, if people see the manifesto, it'll inspire others. They don't need a whole lot to inspire somebody. Robin Westman was a big fan of Adam Lanza. These names are on film. Unfortunately, are familiar to us. So Lanza went into Sandy Hook and killed 26, right? Well, okay. So what? People look for breadcrumbs. Who can we pin this on? It's got to be bigger than the shooter. It has to be more important. Who are the kids? Who cares who the kids are? It doesn't matter who the parents are. That doesn't matter. Let's dump it on Trump, or let's dump it on this group or that group, so we can then take down that whole group by the actions of these individuals. When really most of them are mentally ill people who, for some reason, want to have some sort of notoriety. They're all going for notoriety. They try to outdo the numbers of some other mass shooter that goes in there. If you read, I read the news all the time, and we don't do stories. We don't do shooting stories intentionally, because you end up in the cul-de-sac of what are we going to do or what is going to happen. It always ends up in the same place. But I'm looking at the numbers. You know, the number of young black men that are killed by other young black men, and those are mass shootings, but no one talks about those. They happen, unfortunately, almost every weekend, especially in the summer. You go to certain cities in Jacksonville, you go outside of Chicago, 4 shot, 3 dead. Well, that's a mass shooting, but we don't know any of those names because none of those guys, they don't count because, well, the sad thing is the news expects it. The news doesn't see it as news. And I'm not in any way, please, I'm not diminishing the loss of life of 2 or 1 or 3 young kids, but it's weird how this gets wall-to-wall coverage, but then you can have someone having a party, and then the party gets out of hand, and then couple guns come out, and then 100 rounds are fired off, and 4 or 5 people lay there dead in the street, and whatever. Nobody cares about that because no one can make hay of that. There are no political points to be earned or scored when those lives are lost. They're completely insignificant, and the weird, sad, twisted part of society is we expect that. That's why it's not news, because it's expected. News is only when something unexpected happens. 35,000 flights come in every single day. The one comes in with a flat tire, and then we talk about that one because it's unexpected. But for the loss of lives of young black men in the United States, these are tragedies for those mothers. But again, it's not news. This is news because this is outside the normal conceptual view of what we do to one another as human beings. So a 23-year-old man identifying as a woman gets a bunch of guns and just shoots through a stained glass window and murders these kids and injures 17. So this is going to be, you're going to see. So Fox News, trans shooter rampage in Minneapolis. Okay, that's the way Fox is going to do it. And then you're going to go over here and you're going to watch on CNN. Parents tell CNN how their kids survived the shooting. And then the next thing you know, you're going to have some politician up there talking about, enough with the prayers and the hopes and the dreams and all this other stuff. We need to do something about guns. All right. Well, what happens, you can statistically see it. It happens all the time. Whenever there's a mass shooting, gun sales go up. Why? Well, because it makes people aware of guns. They feel as if guns will be taken from them, so they buy more guns. There is a small, tiny percentage of people that are mentally ill, that are not getting the help that they need, that get a gun, and for some reason they want notoriety. And they feel as if their life has zero significance, so they're going to hurt other people, and they're going to get a part of history. Whether it's, Nicholas Cruz there, right? That mass shooting, that was 98. Wow. Right? The Parkland shooting, same sort of thing. Sandy Hook, you can start to name them all. But I think that the tragedy is that how quickly the sides dig in and then start throwing haymakers at one another, tweets at one another, sound bites at one another. And the bodies of the children haven't even come to room temperature. But we, as a society, will use these shootings in order to score political points. There's a mom. I told you, we get that mom on. Mothers, victims of, right? Remember yes. I told you? Okay, it's a Woodson organization. I talked to this woman like 7 or 8 years ago. And I said to her, because she's a black parent, I think she lost her child in 2003. And I said, what is it like when other shootings occur and then they go wall to wall in the news? And she said, well, come to expect it. But she said, we work hard, our little organization, it's all about moms. They don't get the attention. Nobody cares about their kid because it's not a little white kid, or it's not a trans person that shot him, or not a cop that shot him. Some other kid shoots some other kid, and the news just rolls on looking for something else so that it can become something bigger and more political. So the president's probably going to speak, and then you're going to have all these trans activists that are going to come out and say, listen, the real victim here is Robin because of the dead naming, or because society has turned so against this individual that this was the only action that this person could take because everybody's lives are, threatened. When I would assume most of us, the giant 336 million of us that are out there, there is a very, very infinitesimal amount of us that feel the need to take a human life because their lives don't mean anything. And I go back to the parents. Where were the parents? Were you unaware? Adam Lance's mother was nuts, knowing that the kid was mentally unstable, but still bought him guns for his birthday or something and took him shooting and knew the guy was not well, right? Aubrey Hale, same thing. Her parents knew that she wasn't well. And you could read all the diaries of all this stuff, but where are the parents? Knocking on the door, asking to see the phone. Where are the parents? Now, I try to find out if Westman lived at home. I don't know. We're getting more and more information. But again, it's a responsibility of the parents and society, somebody to be able to be in there and to talk to this individual and to diffuse what is a ticking time bomb of a mentally ill individual. And I'm not just talking about Westman. How about Lanza or Hale or name any other ones? Where's the parent? I remember watching the parents from the shooting there that took place, Nicholas Cruz, where his parents were involved. The people knew that he had mental problems, but it was the Columbine one, and the mother and father were like, "Absolutely not. We had no signs, nothing. Kid's down the basement. What are you doing down there, honey? What he's doing down there is learning how to construct a bomb. Why not go down to the basement? Why not open the bedroom? It's your house. Why not ask to see the phone? Where's the parent? Where is the one group, the mom and dad, or the mom or the dad, or whatever it is, the safeguard against the rest of society? As a parent, you have a responsibility to teach your kids right from wrong, look out for other people, be kind, stuff like that. That's the job of the parent, to save us from a child that is basically raised by wolves and then goes out into the world and urinates all over your garbage cans and then just, takes a bite out of you of raised by wolves child. The first line of defense, the first group that needs to be involved is the parent. And now, I think it was about a year ago, right? I forget what the case was. The mother and father, I think the mother and father are now brought up on charges. Remember that
Michigan,
one?
Yes.
Yeah, in Michigan. That was a kid that shot everybody, I think, during the Christmas parade or something like that. Exactly. Because you should have done something. Now, I don't think all of a sudden parents were, well, geez, that happened in Michigan. I better go down there and knock on the door. No, it's a wake-up call that you have a responsibility. If you bring that kid into this world, you teach this kid right from wrong, and then you are the advocate for the rest of us to find out how your child is feeling. A tortured soul, a tortured individual, this Robin Westman, a tortured individual, this Adam Lanza, and he takes his torture and
the parents' perspective on this whole incident. And it was essentially the kid was being raised by Instagram and by Discord and, and Reddit and just the internet. And they were so busy, the dad worked nights and the mom worked during the day. And they were a little disconnected from what he was doing in his room all night. And they knew that he wasn't, exactly the most popular kid, but there wasn't any huge signal that they could latch onto as to how this possibly could have happened. And the series spent most of the time them trying to reconcile how this happened under their nose and how he basically became this, quote unquote monster, just behind that bedroom door. And it's pretty fascinating because I think it is a lot more difficult, especially when people, everybody's there's only 24 hours in a day and everybody's working and you're not looking for signs like that. But I think if the room is dark and the door is closed and the computer monitor is the only light they're getting, then there might be something in there that's worth digging into. There's
a movie that I actually saw called Mass. It came out in 2021, written and directed by Fran Kranz. And it's two parents, and they're sitting in this room. The whole thing takes place in just one room. The mom and dad, they lost their child to the son of the mom and dad. So they're sitting there in this room. And it is really difficult to watch because at one point, the father of the victim is screaming at the mom and dad. And, they're hurting as well. And the other guy, let me tell you something. Don't watch it now because it's too close with this other thing. But it really does give you a truly heartbreaking, I guess it's encapsulating how forgiveness needs to be apparent for the parents, both of them. It's really, I'm not going to ruin the end for you, but it's, it's called Mass. It came out in 2021, and it's
MASS, like MASH.
Yeah, the idea for the film was sparked by the Parkland shooting by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa. That's where it came from, but... Yeah, now watch this. So just watch, everybody. Watch how everybody takes sides, and then, it's, Trump, and then, it's the trans, and it's... All right, here's Nate.
Thank you, John. Let's see. KIRO Radio Rundown has the update. It's busy out there. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. You're packed from Ravenna into Northgate, and then from there it thins out, but it remains crowded through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. You're slow from South Bellevue into Bothell, and then you'll join that North 5 back up through Linwood. Everett to Seattle is going to take you 55 minutes. 40 from Linwood. Still some crowding in Linwood between the Alderwood Mall and 212. From there, you're going to clear out all the way down to Northgate. In fact, it's like South Northgate. And then from there, it's packed down to I-90. You can avoid most of this by hopping over to Highway 99, which is clear from basically Shoreline all the way through downtown Seattle. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, 20 minutes on 520. It's a half hour on I-90. Bellevue to Renton on 405 is a 45-minute drive now. Both directions of I-5 through Federal Way are packed between Highway 18 and the Fife Curve. Eastbound 512 now has scattered backups from Parkland over to South Hill. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. Get the latest news and updates from your favorite KIRO News Radio shows straight to your inbox. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Last week, we discussed how orcas can recognize coastlines and land features. They also have very accurate internal clocks. According to naturalists at Puget Sound Express, the T60 family of Biggs orcas has been hunting in our waters for the past week. August is T60 time. It's basically the only time of year this family visits us, and they return almost to the day each year. At least 10 other Biggs orca families are also in the area right now, as are many humpbacks and minke whales. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend and Port Angeles. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Minneapolis mourns after a deadly shooting at a Catholic school. Students were attending morning mass at the time.
Coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church.
Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the 23-year-old shooter killed 2 students ages 8 and 10 and wounded 17 others. CBS's Matt Piper says police are still looking for a motive.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says thoughts and prayers just are not enough anymore.
Look, we need to be doing more than talking. It can't just be words. There needs to be action.
Matt DeBoer is principal at Annunciation Catholic School. I love you. You're so brave. and I'm so sorry this happened to us today.
Now, we have learned that Principal DeBoer was also the principal at St. Therese Catholic School here in Seattle for 8 years. KIRO 7 TV's Deborah Horn spoke to those who knew him.
Nicole St. Hilaire has worked here for more than 20 years.
He came to St. Therese when my children were young, and he was an incredible leader at that time.
He's very community focused. Lucelia Thompson was in second grade when DeBoer arrived.
You know, we're a pretty diverse school, so he did a lot to celebrate everyone's cultures and stuff and make sure people felt at home here.
DeBoer and his wife both moved to Minneapolis back in 2022. The head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has been ousted from her job. CBS's Linda Kenyon has that.
Dr. Susan Maneras became the director of the CDC just weeks ago. She's now out following reports she may have crossed Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Specifically, she reportedly disagreed with Secretary Kennedy, who removed some members of a vaccine advisory committee and replaced them with some vaccine opponents. She also voiced concern about vaccine misinformation. A social media post from the HHS says Dr. Maneras is no longer at the CDC and says Secretary Kennedy has full confidence in his team at the agency. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Busy night at the traffic desk. Let's get right to it with Nate Connors.
All right, Seattle to Everett is at 50 minutes, and it is busy from Ravenna Boulevard all the way into Northgate, but then from there, it thins out, but remains crowded into North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, you're pushing an hour. It's slowed from South Bellevue into Bothell. You'll clear out, and then you're going to jam up again in Alderwood, approaching the interchange. Everett to Seattle, 55 minutes, 45 now from Linwood. You're crowded through Linwood for a few miles, but about 212th, you're going to clear all the way down to Northgate. Then from there, it is packed from about 85th, really, down to I-90. Again, you can avoid most of this by heading over to Highway 99, which is pretty much all clear. Thurston County, let's head down there as you head into Yelm. We're seeing a big backup southbound 507. Drivers are sitting in a 4 to 5 mile bumper to bumper heading into McKenna. As far as I can tell, this is just due to heavy rain that just recently moved through. This has westbound 702 with a solid 1 mile backup approaching the 507 interchange. Tacoma to Olympia, 50 minutes. You got a 3 mile thick backup through JBLM, and then another pretty hefty backup now between Lacey and Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Band of showers right now, moving from Olympia over to Eatonville and into the Cascades. We are seeing some showers right now in the mountains. Could reach the foothills as the night goes on. Right now, cloudy and 75 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, Teeny, this is your big chance to put down the letters that you've been reading to choose a letter of the day. Excellent. By the way, whatever happened to Paul from Sammamish, speaking of letter of the day? I met him in person, talked to him there at Swiftwater up at Suncadia, and then he just doesn't write anymore.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Got quiet.
Strange. Just make sure to check on him. Okay. I will.
Good. Glad you're concerned. Where you go?
No, okay, Teeny, spin the wheel, please. Names of all the players on the board. There we go. There's Andrew, and it spins and it lands on... She stopped it on herself, Andrew. Teeny. Potato. Yeah, I know. Just egg recipe with a starch. Name a starch that you put the... Okay, anybody want to add to the potato? There's not even an egg involved. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for your help on that one. There you are. All the names of all, and all the recipes are going to be in a leather-bound book.
Can I read one of our haikus from yesterday?
Yes. So we stopped the music. Haiku music. Okay.
Wilcox eggs are best. Onion, soy sauce, and cabbage. Amazing fried rice. From 253.
Yeah. My daughter works at Canva. You keep the music going if you can. And they have, they do the thing where everyone goes into these rooms and they rub on the big, like cups and things and make all the noise. They
Oh, the bowls.
The bowls,
They're
and they
cool,
got the Tibetan monks and things.
They got the little gardens where you rake the rocks.
They got all that stuff going on. Like, when's that? She goes, oh, yeah, every day if you want to go for that. They have trampolines they bring in.
Trampolines?
Mm-hmm. People jump on trampolines. They have a giant table. Everybody has lunch. It's a lunch hour. Everyone has to eat. No laptops, no phones. It's a really interesting culture. Canva. They have you get a clothing allowance.
Oh.
You can get clothes for like meetings and things. That's included. It's like, wow, check this place. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they have all these like extra benefits. I'm thinking, I just remember here at KIRO about a week ago when the toilets overflowed. Remember that, Aaron? There's like a note. Be careful, the toilets have overflowed.
Yeah. There's no water.
Nope.
There's buckets of water in the bathroom if you need to flush the toilet.
Or just let it rip on the carpet. I mean, just go to the bathroom on the carpet. Most of the stuff coming out of the toilet is all over the carpet.
That's true. They did provide hand sanitizer in case you needed to wash your
She's telling me about this stuff. Oh, we got an IPO, or maybe doing this and doing that. I'm like, my God, good for her. Good for her. You want to do this AI thing? I don't feel like doing that.
No, that's fine. We don't have time.
I'm going back to this. I like this guy again. Going back to the city council.
Oh, good.
For those of you who didn't get this one earlier, guy goes in there. Cecil, Pennsylvania, shut down the motocross track because people are complaining. So this guy gets up, and we have other examples of other city council meetings.
I really just came up here to say that.
Sorry, real quick. We just need your name and your address for the record, please.
I just came up here to say that.
He's not going to give the name and address. You know what that? He's got his thing.
Sorry, I need you to state.
You're either going to hear them or they're.
By the way, Andrew, in order to really authenticate the sound this guy's going to make, can you find like I don't know, it's probably a 250. And
I'm working on it. I was just thinking that just as you said that.
Okay.
Allowed to be.
Stop it. You need to state your name and address. Okay. You need to.
Again, we can't figure out if he's in favor of it. More motorcycles or less motorcycles? What do you think? Is he?
Oh yeah, he wants his track. He starts moving all.
He's running around.
Thank you.
Is he popping wheelies?
Oh yeah.
For the entertainment. Next, please.
Okay, and then the other guy gets up and he says,
"Hello, board. I am a U.S. taxpayer."
You can imagine what this guy looks like. I got a CB radio I'm still using. I got a low. I got a radio. Was a low frequency radio. Right. He's listening to police scanners. This guy, he's got the belt and suspenders. Got that on. Put on about 55 pounds right after high school. Never lost it.
I think you're all government leeches, and you should step down.
Step down.
And this lady, she's an alien. Look at the way she looks.
The thing that would make this guy's speech even better is if the motorcycle guy came back in. No, not that one. The real one. Hold on.
All right, is that it for public comment? Anyone else?
And she's an alien.
Yeah. Look at
U.S. citizen. Sovereign citizen.
Can we get a little of the Seattle City Council?
Yeah, this is Seattle. Love this one.
There's an unwelcome sight in the neighborhood. A developer is being greedy.
This lady, you just tell by looking at this lady, there's no shoes in her house.
No.
Right. As you step through dried cat turds all over the carpet.
There's a hole in the sky where a tree once stood. Such a lack of life and sound. All that's left is bare, muddy ground. A magnificent tree was murdered. The mighty dollar cut it down. There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was.
Somebody's making money.
There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making
money.
Laws protect exceptional trees, but the city grants exemptions to these. Instead, they reward the developer's greed and sanction the murderer's deeds.
Here we go.
There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was.
Somebody's making money.
There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was.
Somebody's making money.
No more leaves shimmering with golden light. No more gentle shedding of rains. Nor tulip blossoms rustling in the wind. Now nothing remains but that hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money. There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money. There's a hole in the sky, in the sky. Instead of a spreading canopy, there's a hole in the sky.
That your relative is listening to the show.
90-year-old tree, there's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. That tree did not belong to you or me. There's a hole in the sky where the tree should be.
Like Sondheim.
Oh, sky.
She's still going.
Pass the tree ordinance now. Stop cutting those exceptional tree downs now.
Thank you, Suzanne. That was a very wonderful presentation. I do have to make for the record to reflect that is a second warning for disturbance because of group participation.
Yeah.
I really love this song. I am saying I have to maintain consistent boundaries forever. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, okay. By the way, did they save the trees?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right. By the way, they're taking that show on the road.
Oh, good.
Yeah, why that's not down to Fifth Avenue Theater, I haven't got a clue.
It's like a shanty.
Yeah.
Kind of like it.
The critics are raving. Hole in the sky. Better than Cats. Here's Nate. Nathan?
Yeah, Lake Washington Windows and Doors has the update. All right, Everett to Marysville, back up to 20 minutes. Still crowded from Broadway up to 529. Seattle to Everett has improved a bit, 45 minutes. You're crowded from Northgate through Linwood still. Bellevue to Everett is down to 40. It's slow from Kirkland into Bothell. Everett to Seattle, you're down to 50 minutes. 40 from Linwood. Still got that crowding through Linwood to get through, which is just a couple miles. And then it's packed from 85th down to I-90. Bellevue to Renton, 45 minutes. It's bumper to bumper from 520 all the way down to the VMAC. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia is going to take you 50. Beat inflation at Lake Washington Windows and Doors for a limited time. Save with 20% inflation discounts and 18 months free financing. Learn more at lakewashingtonwindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
If you've been considering surgery or even joint replacement, let me suggest something. Hi, it's Dave Ross. I've now talked to over 200 patients of Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, so many of whom have told me about the life-changing results, and those are their words, after treatment at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. These are people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, and they tell me that they're back hiking, jogging, playing tennis, skiing, golfing, walking up and down stairs, playing with the kids, the grandkids, and doing it without pain and without surgery. Dr. Mark Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, and because they're your own stem cells, they can help regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Also, he's one of the few doing it the right way. So listen to his patients, and remember, whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before you choose surgery, first see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Most roofers around here give you one option. 2 if you're lucky. Asphalt shingles and maybe metal. That's like going to a restaurant and the only thing on the menu is salad. Sure, there are a few kinds, but they're all pretty much the same, and none of them will keep you satisfied for long. I'm Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, and we serve up real choices. Yeah, we do asphalt shingles, sure, but what about something more substantial, like EuroShield rubber tiles that last a lifetime? Or a beautiful, durable metal roof that can handle Seattle's weather like a champ. We even install cedar shake, stone, copper, and walkable rooftop decks. Most roofers stick to what's easy. At RoofSmart, we offer what's best for you. Now, those are what we call options. For anything is possible roofing, call RoofSmart at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at OurRealSuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Thinking of a Kia EV? Act fast. Thousands in tax credits end September 30th. Visit KiaofEverett.com for our huge selection. Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
All right. I got a complaint. You'd only need to help Hudson with one line because you're talking over him and then people can enjoy him singing. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I mean to punish you on the air like that.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Here you go.
As you can see.
I'm a mailman to be met for me. I'm a mailman. Everything new. I'm a mailman. Bring the mail to you.
Oh. Draft in here. Okay, letter of the day first. Take care of all the rest. Joe?
Hey, you picking those up today, by the way.
I always pick them up.
No, you don't. This is came in late last night. It's from Poppy in Mill Creek on the crab boil.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Louisiana thing. It's supposed to be crawfish boil. Washington's Dungeness crab needs no butter. It's the best crab in the world. Grew up catching them off the dock in South Whidbey Island using a hunk of clam neck on the hook.
Okay.
Bring them up slowly so they don't notice, then scoop them up quick with a net. Still my favorite thing in the world. And yes, John, your show's all over the place, but that's what keeps us listeners hooked.
working back in the fish thing. Off topic, Dwayne from QFC says, I love this show.
Remember he was upset the other day? We brought him around.
We brought him back, right?
Yeah,
Because
yes.
right, that's good. Welcome back, Dwayne.
Tina on the 425 says, oh my God, KIRO men, you make me laugh so hard every day. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding, wow.
Devin Bothell says, please play the city meeting again. We did.
We did, yes. Mark in the 660 says, why does Trump listen to 97.3? Could it be Curly's Amazing Stories? Or possibly that he thinks Teeny and her pickle jar is a 10? Or could it be because of good old reliable Nathan?
We don't know. We won't know the answers to all those things, Mark. Steven, downtown Seattle says, whenever you say nude, it sounds kind of creepy to me. Maybe say naked.
Okay. Jaime in Snohomish says, John, being found having been mauled by a bear nude might suggest that the bear had its way with you prior to the mauling.
That people would talk. Nick in Everett says, wouldn't it be a hole to the sky, not a hole in the sky? Fair.
Aaron says, you walked outside with Twiggy, you say? I hope it's the dog you're referring to.
Big Twig. Jamestown. Teeny, what's on John's computer right now?
She can
see, yes.
Katie.
I know, don't worry about it.
Katie in Tacoma on your time as a houseboy says, sounds like John was committed to authenticity. He wanted to bring in the natural aroma people would have smelled in the 1770s.
That is a horrible job. B in Puyallup says the atomic wedgie is where you pull the underwear over the head.
Aha, see, I was right. RB in the 360, also on your houseboy. So Curly was a houseboy. Wasn't he also a Tuesday boy or something like that? A plaything to a rich woman in New York where he met Dolly Parton in an elevator?
All true.
Really?
Golden light, no more gentle shedding of rain.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Thank you, Teeny. Thank you for your hard work.
Oh, look who it is. Paul and Sammamish.
Oh, good.
John Curley's Ancestry.com DNA results just came back. Not surprisingly, he's 85% Irish and 15% two-stroke alien. Coincidentally, two-stroke is his wife's nickname for him. Too much? Welcome back, Paul.
Oh, yeah. Good to get Paul back.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Didn't write no more.
Didn't need to write anymore. It's all been said.
She left the gloom hanging round my front door.
97.3. There we are. Here comes Nate. Nathan?
All right, John, Everett to Seattle is down to 45 minutes. We're all clear now at the Everett Mall, so 35 minutes from Linwood. You got a 2-mile backup through Linwood starting at the interchange, and then it's still packed from 80th down to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle is 20 minutes on 520. You're bumper to bumper from mid-span over to I-5. Half hour on I-90, and you're crowded from the Mercer Tunnel all the way over to I-5. North 5 is heavy at the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton, 45 minutes. It's bumper to bumper from 520 all the way down the Northeast 44th near the VMAC. Renton to Puyallup on 167. You're down to 40 minutes. Yeah, scattered backup still, though, between Renton and Sumner. Tacoma to Olympia, 50 minutes. You've got a 3-mile thick backup through JBLM. More slowing as you head into Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
You never know what you're going to find when you dig up your yard. In fact, you'll never believe what they dug up just outside our building. It's transportation related, and I'm going to tell you all about it in Choke Points tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Stay ahead of our summer traffic nightmare with Chris Sullivan's Choke Points on Seattle's Morning News. Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this
This is going...
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Step into Seahawks game day at the Pro Shop, where the roar of the 12s begins. And official Seahawks gear is always within reach.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
This is the Pro Shop. Visit the official store of the Seattle Seahawks, located at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO.